and welcome to the semifinal round of the TSSAA state playoffs. Only 4 teams remain. 10 teams began this journey, and you saw those highlights at the beginning of the season. It seems like a long way time-wise and maybe temperature-wise from where we are on August 25th when the season got underway to where we are right now. 10 teams began, you can take a look, and 4 teams remain. Baylor and Brentwood Academy. Baylor, the top-ranked team in the state. Brentwood Academy, number 6. Only 4 teams remain, and you can really make a case for all teams to possibly be hoisting that trophy on Thursday, December 5th at Finley Stadium, as the Division II AAA champions will be crowned right then. 10 teams started. Here's half the bracket right there. And look, an interesting path. You can see that Brentwood Academy, first round bye, Baylor, a first round bye, meaning that regular season work did make a difference. The best teams did advance to this game tonight.
And they got a week of rest, and they took advantage of it. Brentwood Academy with a 43-14 win last week over Father Ryan in the game that we had. A dominating performance by Baylor as they took care of Memphis University School 45-6. This will be the second meeting between these two teams, and if you look at these brackets, I think you're right, Jim. These 4 teams left are definitely the best 4 in the state.
Yeah, there's the other 2 teams, McCallie and Ensworth, playing in Nashville tonight. So remember on game number 1, we talked about that possibility of a Baylor-McCallie rematch in the state championship game again this year. McCallie has a tough battle because Ensworth has lost this many. That means 0. Baylor is undefeated. Ensworth undefeated. McCallie will have a tough time tonight trying to make it to Finley Stadium in that championship game.
Ensworth really known for their defense this year, but they're going to face a physical test in a McCallie team that we saw earlier this season, and that should be an outstanding game in Nashville.
Yeah, last week in that quarterfinal round with 8 teams still alive, I talked to Coach Kimry again today like I do our normal 10:30 meeting that we have on Friday on game day, and I said, you know what, I'm not sure there were really 8 great teams, 8 state championship caliber teams last week in that round of play. I said, but I definitely think there's 4 state champion caliber teams this week. And for a few, and for a rarity, he agreed with me. So Baylor, Brentwood Academy in this game, McCallie and Ensworth in the other semifinal round, and that championship game is Thursday, December 5th, 7 o'clock at Finley Stadium. How do we get here? Well, Brentwood Academy started a little bit on the slow side. They have a new head coach in Paul Wade in his first year. So Brentwood Academy lost their opening game to a good CPA team, lost 31-24, beat Brentwood 16-6, beat Christian Brothers 23-13, beat Father Ryan 31-2, then lost the back-to-back games. They lost at McCallie 41-9, and then they lost to this Red Raider team 7-6. We'll get to that in just a moment. It was a 1-point win by the Red Raiders over Brentwood Academy when they met on September 27th. But then turn the page to October, turn the page to November, and we're almost ready to turn the page to December, and Brentwood Academy has not lost since. They beat Knox Catholic 63-26, beat Lipscomb 24-16, beat Montgomery Bell Academy 35-7, and as you mentioned, a win over Father Ryan 43-14 last week. For Baylor, of course, unbeaten on the year, unbeaten regular season, unbeaten last week, advancing in the playoffs. One of their best wins of the season was in game number 1. Came from behind to beat Rabun Gap 21-14. Beat Gray Collegian 42-7. Beat Coconut Creek 49-21. Won at Lipscomb 37-7. Beat Christian Brothers 45-14. The 7-6 win against Brentwood Academy. 44-12 over McCallie. 48-7 over St. Pius X. Beat Montgomery Bell 32-21. Beat Knox Catholic 49-17 in the playoff win last week over MUS 45-6. I mentioned earlier to you that Baylor's average margin of victory, their average games, are 38-11. So they're winning games by an average of 4 touchdowns with that one lone exception of a 1-point win against Brentwood Academy on September 27th. But that game had some unique circumstances, didn't it?
First of all, the weather. It was
Hurricane
rainy
Helene.
and very windy. And 10:30 the day of that game, Baylor didn't know that they would even be playing that game because of the hurricane potential. There was some question about would they even play. It was difficult conditions to say the least, especially if you tried to throw the ball against the wind. What went well for Baylor in that game was the running game. And I think if you look at both those teams, Jim, it's been 2 months since they played. They're both better. And they're probably both better for being in that game. Brentwood Academy was held to 2 field goals. So I don't know how much a carryover that game has to tonight because they've played so much football since then.
I was going to say it was just a 1-point win as you saw Eric Kimry. And when I talked to him today, he said going to that game, and you're right, they didn't know if they were going to play or maybe postpone or, play on a Saturday or a Monday or something like that. He goes, we found out that morning. He goes, let me just say that bus ride over Mount Eagle Mountain was a little bit interesting in that some hurricane force winds. But he said the wind was definitely a factor in that game. He said, you've seen our guy, Briggs Cherry, throw the football. He goes, he threw one. He had a wide open receiver, and it ended up 15 yards short. 15 yards. He goes, when in the first and third quarters, when you had the wind in your face, you could not complete a long pass. And, of course, that's one of the strengths of this Baylor football team.
I think when you win a game like that, Jim, it's kind of typical of the season for Baylor. Every time they faced a challenge, they've met it. Look back on the first game. It's a block kick by Jamie and Theodore that really turns that thing around way back in August. They win a game in terrible conditions in Nashville. It just seems like they've weathered every storm. They've been hit by injuries. They've got a key win tonight, but they just keep on keeping on. Depth is a big deal. Depth may be a big deal tonight, too, when you look at what Brentwood has to deal with. They have 8 players on their 2 deep that are set to play at least starting or backup roles on both sides of the football. And a lot of those are linemen.
Yeah, going both ways.
That's going to be interesting to see if that becomes a disadvantage for Brentwood Academy. But look, in the beginning, that's not going to be any advantage at all because you're in the state semifinals. It's win or go home. The adrenaline is going to carry you through the first half. It should be interesting, though, to see what happens late in this football game. But 8 players that potentially have to go both ways, that's a lot, Jim, even for a team as talented as Brentwood Academy.
That injury report, Charlie Edgeworth comes back for Baylor. Edgeworth, 6'7", 330-pound right tackle, back in the starting lineup. And that makes a difference. You talk about, we're too deep in this spot, but there's a reason guys are number one. I say it all the time. There's a reason that starters are starters because they're the best guys you have available. You lose a real stalwart of your offensive line, and I think that offensive line has been the unsung heroes for this Baylor team all season long. That guy ain't bad either, but when you lose a Charlie Edgeworth and then you have to start moving people around, you kind of weaken 2 or 3 positions as it turns out.
Well, we talked about the red wall last week. They took that game over, that offensive line. And you look at defensively, they've lost 56, Rafi Kuzamana at the nose guard. They've had to go nose guard by committee since that injury, and you really haven't missed a beat. So, again, they've answered the bell on challenges. When you talk about size, let's talk about one player for Brentwood Academy. Trell Shivers, 6'4", 380. He is a defensive end and the right tackle. He is number 77. He's going to be a load to deal with. And, of course, we got to talk about the marquee player for Brentwood Academy, Big George McIntyre, at the other end of the scale, 6'6", 194, Tennessee commit, 5-star quarterback. He can make any throw that needs to be made, Jim.
What numbers do you want me to throw at you? Like last week, maybe threw for, 255 yards or whatever it is. He threw for 351 yards in that win over Father Ryan. George McIntyre, big, 6'6", 194, tall and lanky, has thrown 17 touchdown passes so far this year and just 3 interceptions. McIntyre's the real deal. And how would you like to be Joachim Dotson of Baylor and say, you know what, that could be my quarterback when we're teammates at Tennessee next year?
Yes.
But McIntyre's the real deal, and they have 2 really good receivers. So we're going to see a passing game for Brentwood Academy that maybe Baylor hasn't seen all year long, with the exception of the game against Brentwood Academy.
Keyshawn Bowman and Neil Clifton, those two receivers that McIntyre likes to hook up with. And McIntyre's got a lot of experience. If you think back to last year, Jim, here on this field, he basically was their one and only weapon, and he was incredibly effective in that game.
He has thrown for over 2,500 yards so far this year. Like I said, 17 touchdown passes, 167 of 255, and just racked up 351 last week in that playoff win. He'll be fun to watch, and they say as good as he is throwing the football, maybe what he does best is extend plays. He's not going to really win games with his legs. He's not that guy. He's not a rushing quarterback, but he can extend plays. He is a good athlete, but he can throw the football with what they say is pinpoint accuracy.
I think what you have to do with a quarterback as talented as that is you have to, I don't think you need to sack him, although they'd love to do that. You need to make him uncomfortable, and you need to make him throw the football from places that he doesn't like to throw the football. Make him uncomfortable, whether that's any type of rush, up the field or to the side, but you need to get him off his spot, so to speak, so that he to negate his accuracy.
Semifinal round of the state championship series, and the Stars expected to come out tonight in this contest between unbeaten Baylor, number 1, against 6th seeded Brentwood Academy. Should be a great night tonight for playoff football.
Go for Dan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Baylor School, Haywood Stadium, Red Edder Field, and tonight's semifinal playoff game between the Brentwood Academy Eagles and the Red Raiders of Baylor. We would like to extend a warm welcome to our visitors from Nashville, and at this time we would like to introduce the starting lineup for the Eagles, coached by Paul Wade. In numerical order, starting with number 1, senior linebacker Bo Donnelly. Number 2, senior punter and kicker London Baronis. Number 3, senior wide receiver Neo Clifton. Number 4, senior tight end Wilkes Eaton. Number 7, junior defensive back Easton Jointer. Number 8, senior defensive back Isaiah Williams. Number 9, freshman linebacker Roman Jennings. Number 10, senior wide receiver and linebacker Luke Robeson. Number 11, sophomore wide receiver Keyshawn Bowman. Number 12, senior quarterback George McIntyre. Number 16, senior fullback Hayes Smithson. Number 20, senior defensive back Coleman Kalmus. Number 25, sophomore tailback Larry Sanders Jr. Number 30, senior linebacker Gavin Schaefer. Number 45, sophomore defensive back Troy Portes. Number 51, junior center J.D. Ahern. Number 53, junior right guard Brody Belleville. Number 55, sophomore left guard Jordan Phillips. Number 66, senior nose guard Andrew Saputi. Number 76, senior left tackle and defensive tackle Todd Hammond. And number 77, senior right tackle and defensive tackle Trell Shivers. Once again, the head coach of the Eagles, Paul Wade.
Go for Park Ridge. Go for Park Ridge.
Tonight's high school football game is made possible in part by Park Ridge Health System. With 5 hospitals working together as one in the Chattanooga region, Park Ridge Health provides a full range of medical and mental health care, including sports medicine and orthopedics. For more information, visit parkridgehealth.com.
Go for TSS.
This game is being played according to the rules of the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can also help to promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Each one is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this game at a high level of sportsmanship. And now, with the help of the Baylor Jumbotron scoreboard, here's the starting lineup for your Baylor Red Raiders. Starting on defense, number 4, linebacker Joel Lowenberg. Number 5, defensive back Damian Theodore. Number 8, defensive back Colby Barrett. Number 15, linebacker Keaton Whaley. Number 16, linebacker Davis Garrett. Number 20, defensive back Jordan Darren Gia. Number 21, linebacker Bradley Alunga Bisalele. Number 24, defensive back Cody Davenport. Number 25, safety Tyler Wright. Number 27, linebacker Chris Feniger. Number 35, defensive lineman CJ Weiler. Number 56, defensive lineman Rafi Kunzamana. Number 99, defensive lineman Jaden Arenas Michelle. That's your starting defense. And now the starting offense for the Baylor Red Raiders, starting with number 0, running back David Gabriel Georges. Number 1, running back Shakai Mills Knight. Number 2, wide receiver Caden Dewey. Number 3, quarterback Briggs Cherry. Number 9, wide receiver Joakim Dodson. Number 13, wide receiver Alexi Leclerc. Number 17, wide receiver Cameron Sparks. Number 19, tight end Ben Darnell. Number 54, offensive lineman Teague Johnson. Number 58, offensive lineman Jimmy Bryson. Number 71, offensive lineman Charlie Edgeworth. Number 74, offensive lineman Xavier Wade. Number 75, offensive lineman Jonathan King. Number 79, offensive lineman Gabriel Ascenda. Your kicker is number 80, Philip LaForge, and the punter is number 95, Sam Shutters. The Red Raiders are coached by Eric Kimry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to please stand for the invocation before tonight's game to be delivered by Matt Farr, Baylor class of 2003, the chaplain of Baylor School. Then please remain standing for our national anthem to be played tonight by Baylor guitarist Senior Brent Coppage. First, Reverend Farr.
I invite you all to join me in the spirit of prayer. Gracious God, we have so much to be thankful for, and as we prepare to travel, to celebrate, to feast with family and friends, and to rest, we have one last task before break, to play this football game. Be with the players and coaches. Protect them from all injury tonight. Be with the fans, helping us to cheer for our teams responsibly. And we pray you continue to bless both Brentwood Academy and the Baylor School. Tonight and in the week ahead, keep us ever mindful of our countless blessings. Help us to share out of our abundance. Be with all those traveling that they may reach their destinations safely and on time. And thank you, God, for footballs and butterballs this week. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Theodore picks it. Shooting through to the end zone. There goes Dotson down the sideline. Touchdown, Baylor School.
Okay, maybe 51. The captains will now meet at midfield for the opening coin toss. Captains tonight for Brentwood Academy, number 3, Neo Clifton, number 10, Luke Robeson, number 12, George McIntyre, and number 51, J.D. Ahern. The captains for Baylor, number 1, Shakai Mills Knight, number 4, Joel Lowenberg, number 21, Bradley Alunga-Bisalele, and number 58, Jimmy Bryson. Take you down to the field and the referee.
All right, now
How
we know
many
what's
times,
gonna,
Jim?
I was going to say, you always say that's the crucial mistake. You win the toss, you decline, let Baylor get the football first.
I just think.
How many times has that worked out for the opposition?
It hasn't in 2 years. Maybe it's just me.
When I talked to Eric Kimry today, he said, this is a team on a mission. He goes, we don't think about regular season. We don't think about undefeated season. He goes, believe it or not, we don't think about Macaulay. He goes, we think about December 5th. First of all, to play in December, to hoist the trophy, you got to get there first, right?
Absolutely, and it's in their own backyard here in Chattanooga, which makes it even more special.
All right, what do the Red Raiders have to do tonight? And when I talk to Coach Kimry, I usually ask him some keys to the game, and he'll give me the coach speak and talk about turnovers. I think the 2 or 3 things, and turnovers is certainly a part, don't get me wrong. I'm going to use the old ESPN cliche. They're not going to contain George McIntyre. He's going to complete some passes tonight. Don't let him have a 351-yard week like he did a week ago against Father Ryan in the playoffs.
I think they just need to make him uncomfortable and make him work. Take away something that he's used to having offensively. That's really a big piece of the pie. And I think, I don't know that George McIntyre, as good as he is, has faced a group of defensive backs that are as effective as Baylor's back end of their defense. That will be a bigger challenge, I think, than maybe George McIntyre realizes, because they've played well all year in any type of coverage.
I agree with that. I'm looking forward to seeing George McIntyre operate in a
me
playoff
too.
situation with really a chance at
Me
the
too.
championship game on the line. This is what you play for. And we go all the way back to August in that warm Sunday afternoon, the ESPN game, and then you go here where it's 46 degrees and clear. A lot of games we come to and we'll worry about the sun coming
We're not
coming
worried
down.
about that tonight. Something else, Jim. Last week, what did we see? The red wall, the Baylor offensive line, road graded in the second half. Whichever offensive line can establish themselves is going to have 1 foot heading to December 5th in this football game.
Yeah, again, it just comes down to who controls the line of scrimmage. You can talk about everything else.
Sure can.
Receiver this, quarterback this. Who controls that line of scrimmage will be the winner in all likelihood tonight. And both teams, let's start with there. Mr. Baronis
Cannon.
has pretty good genes in his kicking family, am I correct?
That's Rob Baronis, his son, former kicker for the Titans. London, 5'11", 195, and as you saw there, he can kick it as far as he wants to.
And the luxury that these two teams have is so many high school teams don't have the kicking game that these two teams do. So starting on the 20 underway in the semifinal round. Public schools are in the quarterfinal round. Private schools, this is a semifinal round game. Briggs, Cherry and Company on play number 1 on offense. It's going to go for about 6 or 7 yards.
Nice start. They moved the leverage to the near side of the field, and Shakai Mills-Knight with a nice gain, 7 yards on first down.
Without Gabriel Georges again tonight, lower body injury, didn't play last week, and that means Shakai Mills-Knight, personally I feel like he's up to the task, but he's going to get more carries than usual, not sharing the load, carrying the load tonight on the ground. Cherry dumps it off nicely. Near sideline.
And Jim, for the second week in a row, Bradley Ilunga Bisalele plays some offense. They got him in action early. Nice swing pass, easy throw, and a first down.
I like just getting players, getting some confidence on your quarterback. Let it complete some short passes. Gets it out to the 36-yard line for a first down and 10. First possession of the night in the semifinal round game. Cherry to throw. Finds a receiver. Gets it to the running back out of the backfield, and he gets around the 49-yard line.
Nice job that time. Brentwood Academy brought a blitz. Cherry picked it up perfectly, and it was an easy hot read to Shakai Mills-Knight, and the chains move again.
Found a passing lane, found a receiver, and that brings it to midfield for a first down. First down and 10. Red Raiders have quickly moved 30 yards from their own 20, and you see the nose of the football right at that midfield stripe. Little shuffle pass and good penetration that time.
Boy, what a nice tackle. Bo Donnelly from his linebacker spot, the senior, came in, busted that play up.
And I'll say it again. Those of you that are Red Raider fans and used to seeing an easy win or pulling away, I don't think this is going to be an easy win here tonight at all. Brentwood Academy is good. They are a good team, a legit team, and they're going to give the Red Raiders all they want tonight. 2nd and 14. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and then some. Moves into Eagle territory to the 48-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down. And so for the first time tonight, you're in that 3rd down and uncomfortable situation. 3rd down about 8 or 9. Let's call it 3rd down and 8.5. Haven't seen Dotson, haven't seen Sparks yet. I have a hunch that will change.
Dotson's at the top of the screen, far sideline, number 9.
Cam's in the slot on the near side. 3rd down and long. Passing down for the Red Raiders, I would think. Cherry with time, steps up in the pocket, throws a dart, and completes the pass.
Caden Dewey found the soft spot in that defense. Briggs Cherry got rid of the football just in time and threw a strike.
He had some mustard behind that one. I thought that was a nice pass and not a very big window. And converting on a 3rd and 9, so 1 and 1 in 3rd down conversions, down to the 26-yard line, 1st down and 10. Red Raiders football, opening possession, semifinal round. Brentwood Academy, they haven't lost a game since Baylor beat them in that 7-6 game. And your man that we talked about, Terrell Shivers, he does kind of stand out. I think I feel the earth move under my feet right now. He is a big guy.
77 is a load.
You sure it's not 777?
It may feel that way when he's falling on you, for sure.
A big man. Yeah, that's when you call him and go, what's the biggest size uniform you have?
Double it.
Yeah, give me two of them, we'll sew them together. Cherry with Shakai Mills Knight.
Prior to the snap, false start, 58, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It was pre-snap penalties, a little movement, 5-yard walk-off. From the 26 back to the 31. Baylor's moved from their own 20 to now the Brentwood Academy 31-yard line. Baylor ranked number 1 in the state, Brentwood Academy number 6. Sherry to Shakai Mills Knight, running room. Breaks a tackle. In that 7-6 win for Baylor at the end of September. Wow. They let that play go on a while. He scored the only point, he scored the only touchdown of the game. And the extra point gave Baylor the 1-point win. Brentwood Academy was held to 2 field goals in that game.
Jim, I thought that play might go for a little bit more. Shakai hit that thing quickly, but give Brentwood Academy credit. They closed that hole quickly.
So he got the penalty back and a couple more. Second down, about 7 or 8. Red Raiders opening possession of the game. You feel like they want to establish the run a little bit, don't you?
Yes.
Cherry from the gun. Trying to establish it again with Shakai Mills Knight.
Oh, my goodness.
There's the move. There's the score.
Woo! Shakai Mills Knight broke some ankles on that one. My goodness. And just like we've seen for the better part of 2 years, it's an opening drive touchdown for the Red Raiders.
And you use about half the time in the first quarter. So if you could limit the number of possessions that Brentwood Academy gets, and I understand the first possession of the game, but that's 80 yards in 8 plays. And they score at the 7:57 mark. So they use 4:03 on the clock.
Biggest play in that sequence was the 3rd and 9 where Briggs Cherry hit Caden Dewey for a monster gain in a very tight window. Baylor offense executing at a very high level right now.
Well, what did we talk about? I think Baylor controlled the line of scrimmage on that particular series, so we'll see. 23-yard touchdown run by Shakai Mills Knight. And the opening score for the Red Raiders.
Watch this move right here. Breaks it wide open, hit the sideline, broke 2 ankles, and it's a touchdown for the Red Raiders. Shakai Mills Knight at full speed.
You have a strong safety on that play. Ouch. Baylor scores first, so we'll defer to the second half. That hasn't worked in a while. First possession, and Baylor loves to play with the lead. Pretty darn good at it.
Yes.
So far this year. So Shakai Mills Knight, again, doesn't have his running mate there, Gabriel Georges, but Shakai Mills Knight has been up to the challenge ever since he's been here. I think we could have a pretty good kicking game right here if we want to, right?
Yes. And I think we get a flag here. I don't know if it's offsides or what the call is.
Prior to the kickoff, encroachment. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, free kick.
Huh.
Don't see that often.
I was going to say. And the official spotting it on the 40. And it should be the 35. Okay. I understand. Semifinal round jitters for them too sometimes. Don't think there's not. All right, let's do it again. Think he'll still go in the end zone?
I think so.
7-0 lead, Red Raiders. Shakai Mills Knight on a 23-yard touchdown run. There
I
you
was
go.
wrong. He was out of the end zone.
You're correct. Starting from the 20, first down and 10, and Tennessee fans will want to take a look at the quarterback for Brentwood Academy. 6'6", 194-pound senior George McIntyre has thrown for over 2,500 yards so far this year. And I've seen 2 or 3 interviews with him. He is just so low-key. I saw some of the interviews in Nashville after a game where he threw for 351 last week. He goes, yeah, we had a pretty good outing in this first round of the playoffs or whatever. Long and lean. And they say the best thing about him is not a cannon arm per se, although that's in the package. They say he is Greg Maddox accurate. How about that?
Pre-snap penalty on somebody here. Looks like Brentwood.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense.
There you
number
go.
4, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's certainly not the way the Eagles wanted to start.
No.
Starting out 1st and 15. So you've just been scored upon. You want to come out, get your hands on the football against the number 1 team in the state of Tennessee. And you have that penalty. McIntyre. He's about what? 2 helmets taller than the running back?
At least.
Handoff, first man through, and the first man bounces off and gets to the far side. Great second and I would say almost third effort.
We got a flag.
And a late flag.
Tell you what, Larry Sanders Jr. turned nothing into something.
Absolutely. I've said many, many times, I think the great running backs are the guy that should lose 2 and end up gaining 4.
During the run, we have a face mask, 5-yard penalty. From the end of the run, second down.
Don't see that old 5-yard face mask anymore, do you?
Must have
very
been
often.
Relatively inadvertent.
Look at those bodies. There's a couple that stand out. We talked about earlier. Shivers, 380 pounds, or that's 2 George McIntyres, right? Shivers, the offensive lineman, pushing 4 biscuits.
The play will be first down. First down.
Well, now it's game number 12.
That's all right. As long as you get it right. Yeah, Shivers at that right tackle spot.
So they didn't reset the sticks, though. Trying to run far side, long strides, getting out of bounds.
I think he got the first down.
Again. He gets across the 30, bottom line, and that's what Eric Kimry, said was one of the most impressive things about McIntyre, and B, said one of the things he feared the most about McIntyre. McIntyre's not going to run the RPO, all that, or the lead option, whatever it is. He's not going to do that much, but he can escape and he can extend plays.
Maddox McClure in at nose guard for Jimmy Bryson now.
He just fell in the backfield that time and brought down. So spun the wheels a little bit. That was a little bit of the Roadrunner look, right?
Larry Sanders Jr.
And lost the yardage back to the 30. So negative yards again for Brentwood Academy. One time on a penalty, then on a loss. Baylor had a loss on their first series, able to overcome. And as you mentioned, that big 3rd down conversion was the key to that entire drive. If you didn't join us pregame, they have 2 elite receivers and a 5-star quarterback to get it to them. Both teams trying to establish the run here early on. Going on the far side. Players got a little twangled up there, didn't they?
Nice push by that Brentwood Academy offensive line. Larry Sanders Jr. hit the hole hard, and a very positive game brings up a manageable 3rd down and 3 now for the Eagles.
3rd and 3 at the 39-yard line. Baylor scored on their first possession. Brentwood Academy trying to do the same. Baylor goes 3-man front. McIntyre soft toss, complete, and bringing him down. That was nice.
Boy, what a solid open field tackle by number 5, Jamian Theodore, who always shows up in big games. Key stop there, and that forces a punt.
That's one of the favorite targets for George McIntyre. Number 3 is Neil Clifton. He's caught 53 passes, now 54 so far this year. But that's the thing.
And they lost yardage on that play, Jim.
Coaches say all the time they're going to catch passes. Just tackle them right as they catch the pass. Don't let them get those, what they call yak yards, yards after catch. Don't give up a bunch of yak yards and you'll be okay. Pretty good kick, which will not be returned. Standing on right around the 20-yard line is where the Red Raiders take over. So a couple of first downs for Brentwood Academy on their first possession of the game. A little bit of a feeling out process. Red Raiders scored on their first possession. This will be possession number 2.
And Jamian Theodore wasn't the only person to make that tackle. He got some help, but he started the party for sure. Solid effort by that Baylor defense. And again, Jim, the defensive backfield of this team is solid.
So Baylor's already scored as many points as they did in the first meeting between the two in late September when Baylor won at 7-6. Getting the passing game going. That's exactly what you want if you're Baylor, and that is you get a one-on-one kind of situation over there. Say, hey, you know what? My receiver's pretty good. And they pick up 7 yards on first down.
And once again, that's Caden Dewey.
Yeah.
Making a solid contribution early. Had the big third down catch, and that went a gain of 7 on first down.
I think as the season has gone along, he's gotten better and better, and they've relied on him a little bit more. So those 2 elite receivers for the Red Raiders, I think, add to that number. I think you make it 3 as Shakai Mills-Knight gets across the 30 to about the 31, maybe the 32, and picks up a Red Raider first down.
Senior linebacker for Brentwood Academy, Luke Robeson, with a nice effort that time. It looked like that could have gone for a lot more. As it is, it moved the chains and converted the first down.
Briggs Cherry with that big offensive line in front of him. First down, Red Raiders already with a 7-0 lead. Now on their own 31-yard line. Cherry, near side. Cameron Sparks with the reception.
Cam's first catch of the night.
Just a 3-yard pickup on first down. To the 34 where it's second down and 7. Second and 7 for the Red Raiders. This is possession number 2 for Baylor on the night. Winner of this game to the championship game at Finley Stadium a couple miles from here.
Wow.
Middle of the field.
Just a bit off target, but
Yeah.
Briggs Cherry felt the pressure from that Brentwood defensive line that time and had to get rid of the football maybe a touch earlier than he wanted to.
Brentwood Academy has not lost a game since they lost to Baylor on September 27th. So they keep getting better and better, moving up in the standings throughout the year, moving up in the rankings, and now number 6 in the state of Tennessee. So another key third down situation for the Red Raiders right here. Third down and 7. Have to get across the 40 to the 41 to pick up a first down. 2 receivers go far side. Play action. Far side, across the stick, enough for the first down.
Once again, the deuce got loose. Caden Dewey on the far sideline, and they moved the chains again. That is just great execution. Read the defense and took the best opportunity they could on that play.
Did that and knew where the first down marker was.
Great route.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line. Baylor football, possession number 2 of the night. Have already gone undefeated in the regular season. Little trickery, throwing it long, in back of the defense.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of those you think back, you go, I should have put a little air underneath, because my man Cameron Sparks had broken wide open in the center of the field.
But that's one that defense is going to think about, Jim.
No question. Handed off to Shakai Mills-Knight, who flipped it back to Briggs Cherry. Cherry threw it long, and as it turned out, too long, but you're right. Sometimes you go vertical and just put a little bit of doubt in the mind of that defensive secondary. 2nd down 10. I love taking a shot. Shakai Mills-Knight, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hit out of bounds after about a 40-yard gain. In the middle of the line, between the tackles is where he started, broke it outside, and the Red Raiders in the red zone once again. Inside the 20, inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Vision, balance, acceleration, 40-yard gain.
Shakai Mills-Knight. Rewarded again, between the tackles again, hit a couple of times, gets inside the 10. So he said the Red Raiders can pick up a first down about the 3 or 4 yard line.
And here's the thing, Jim, 2 possessions and they've burnt, and Brentwood's had 1, but the first quarter is coming to a rapid conclusion here.
Wow.
2:36 and counting.
Not a ground game for the Red Raiders. Sparks wide left. Cherry on the pitch to Shakai Mills-Knight. They call that, I don't know if that was great pitch relationship. That means one guy should not be able to cover both the quarterback and the pitch man.
Somebody's had a bad relationship. They threw a flag on this one.
Not because of pitch relationship. That's one of those, you want to let your running back drift a little bit more outside and make that defensive back commit.
Man.
Face mask penalty.
Now the question is it the 5 or is it the big one?
That's one of those, if you're Brentwood Academy, said, hey, we've made a good defensive play.
Run. We have a personal foul, face mask, defense number 6. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
That's a big one.
So actually, that probably is the better deal, because now you have a 2nd down and 2. Shakai Mills-Knight hit.
That's just great penetration.
Couple
there
of
by
times. Ooh, there's some big people going at it inside now.
Todd Hammond, we talk about Trell Shivers, 77, 6'4", 380. Todd Hammond is no small gentleman either. He is 6'1", 255, but it seems like he plays a lot bigger than that.
I mean, take a look. That's a high school offensive and defensive line. High school. Cherry looking for a receiver. Penalty flag goes down.
Numerous.
You think there was a hold maybe on the defense on Cam Sparks. We'll see.
Yes.
It's exactly the, and again, that's a good play. That's a good defensive play. If you're beat, what do they say? Don't give up a touchdown.
Holding defense number 11. That's a half distance penalty. Be a 1st down.
So 1st and goal for the Red Raiders. 2nd possession of the game for Baylor. And 1:37 to play in the 1st quarter. A quick moving 1st quarter for the most part. Cherry to Shakai Mills-Knight, hit from behind, doesn't get in the end zone, but
the Eagles have done a great job, Jim, on that pitch play. They have gotten penetration on that near side, the right side of the formation, a couple of times tonight.
Marquez Fontenot, the linebacker, making a nice play. Baylor making a change on the offensive line, a rarity. It's Teague Johnson checking out. So 2nd down and goal. Shakai Mills Knight. Boy, I thought there was a big hole left.
I did too, Jim.
He cut
I'm
it
with
back
you.
right. He said, I'll
He
take a
cut it
little
back into
contact.
trouble.
Yeah, didn't get in the end zone. I thought if he would have kept going to the left side, looked like there was a hole there.
I agree with you.
Instead, yeah, I'm going to second guess him, right?
Well, he's faster than both of us, so
Player injury.
I don't know about that spot. My goodness.
To the 2. So Briggs Cherry has a talk with his head coach / offensive coordinator, Eric Kimry. 3rd and 2, big play in the game right here. Shakai Mills Knight. Nothing cute, nothing fancy. I thought maybe they'll send Briggs Cherry left to give him an RPO or run pass option. Instead, you know what? Hand it off to number 1.
Let's let number 1 have some fun. 2 yards on the touchdown.
His 2nd TD of the night for Shakai Mills Knight, and the Red Raiders 2 out of 2. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, scoring with 20 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
Well, you could almost see the offensive line like
Yes.
their body language said, this is a play we've run well, and we're going to run it well again.
2 80-yard drives for the Red Raiders.
Prior to the snap, false start. 5. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
If you're going to have a penalty, that's the place to have it, because both these teams have kickers that with a lot of firepower.
The first drive for the Red Raiders was 80 yards, 4 minutes and 3 seconds time of possession. This drive, 80 yards, 5:11 time of possession. 8 plays on the first drive, 9 on this one. But the guy that got in the end zone was the same guy. Number 1, Shakai Mills Knight. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for Baylor, 2 touchdowns for Shakai Mills Knight.
And Jim, it wasn't like you saw a lot of trickeration, to coin a term. These were basic plays that they've run well all season long.
Yeah, the only trickery they tried, they could have had a wide open Cam Sparks and overthrew him.
I think maybe the call on when they held Cam Sparks in the end zone, I think that might have been the biggest play in that drive. Aside from this, Shakai Mills Knight getting loose for a 40-yard gain. And then on 3rd and goal from the 2, he just follows the big red wall into the end zone.
2nd touchdown of the night for the Baylor running back. Said without his partner tonight, David Gabriel Georges injured. Didn't play last week in the Baylor win over MUS. Not playing tonight either because of a lower body injury. Red Raiders in the end zone with 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. A little bit of a chilly night, but the windows will remain open. Kickoff.
Have you ever done a game without the windows open, Jim?
A couple of times. But most of the time, by gosh, we're going to gut it out up here.
Yeah, yes, we are.
Like it or not.
Yeah. I think there's only one vote in this booth.
I got the window on
that
my
counts.
side.
Yes.
Your side's closed. Some of that heat does manage to escape somehow. 20 seconds to play in the first quarter, and from the 20-yard line. You're really seeing some elite players in this game. Elite quarterbacks, elite receivers. We haven't really seen the receivers put on a show yet for Brentwood Academy. Kicking game, out of this world.
Prior to the snap, encroachment. Defense number 3, offense number 3, lined up in the neutral zone. First down.
How many penalties have we had tonight?
Well,
And we're still in the first quarter.
That's at least 3 on Brentwood Academy.
I was going to say.
2 pre-snap and 1 the holding in the end zone. And the face mask. I'm sorry, that would be 4.
McIntyre to throw. Up in the air. And a nice catch.
Spectacular catch that time.
Almost picked off, but the perfect throw in that scenario is he hits the tight end, Wilkes Eaton.
Wilkes Eaton, the tight end, got one hand on it, and then the other one got it, and he reeled that in. Biggest play of the night so far for the Eagles.
Yeah, that play is get it over the linebacker and in front of the defensive secondary, and he thread the needle right there. I think Baylor might have gotten a fingernail on that one. But you can see the accuracy by McIntyre as the first quarter comes to an end. So at the end of one, 14-0. And again, the Red Raiders get the football first. They score in their first possession. They make everyone else play uphill the rest of the way. Scored on possession number 2. So now if you're Brentwood Academy, you got a 14-point hole to overcome.
Well, it looks like they went to a little quick passing game that time and just trying to get themselves in some type of rhythm to be effective offensively.
You and I mentioned a lot that Baylor defensive secondary underrated, I think.
I think so too.
And again, they're having a pretty good challenge tonight. So far, you know, you get a little pressure on McIntyre. All you have to do is make him throw a half second quicker than he wants to. That helps your secondary out. And those guys right there, that defensive line, helping that defensive secondary out. And because you do not want George McIntyre, a 5-star quarterback committed to Tennessee. You don't want a guy, an elite quarterback like that, to get in a rhythm. At the 43-yard line. So that 23-yard pass completion from McIntyre to his tight end, Wilkes Eaton. Goes from the 20 to the 43, and it's first down. Under center is McIntyre. Play action. Rolls out, being chased, and forced to put it on the sideline. Incomplete pass.
Boy, fantastic defense. Bradley Ilunga Bisalele with the initial pressure. McIntyre gets away. Thinks he has a safety valve, but again, great defense on the back end by Baylor to shut that play down. Just fantastic defense on both sides of the field. Keaton Whaley with the final defensive stop from his defensive back spot.
2nd and 10 at the 43. We've talked about Baylor defense. They don't blitz a lot, but they seem to dial them up at pretty good times with that 3-man front. 2 receivers left on 2nd and 10 with McIntyre handing it off up the gut. Nice spin move, getting to midfield and beyond.
That's Isaiah Williams, I think, with a carry, the senior.
Nice run, but it sets up a third down about 2.5. Into Baylor territory for the first time tonight at the 49-yard line. Third down and 2.5. Brentwood in the white. Baylor in the red. McIntyre puts his running back on his right side, not his left, and took a little too much time.
Brentwood, first of the half.
Boy, what a great matchup on this play. At the bottom of our screen, 77, Trell Shivers, the senior right tackle, facing Jaden Arenas Michelle, number 99, the big cat at defensive end for Baylor.
Paul Wade in his first year as the head coach. And they've gotten better and better as the season's going on. Lost their first game of the year, then won 3 straight. Then got the Chattanooga 1-2 punch, losing to McCauley and Baylor in back-to-back weeks. Since then, they've righted the ship and haven't lost since. including a nice playoff win last week. They're down short. McIntyre completes the pass.
I don't know if he got it.
I think the second
They're going to mark him
effort
short.
made it closer. I'm like you, and our angle's pretty good.
Wow,
I
that's
think-
another great open field tackle, and
again, here's where a
they're
half
in
yard,
4-down territory.
a half yard makes a difference, right?
Yes.
The difference between getting that first down and not getting the first down.
They brought in a different personnel group. They're going to go right under center and go quickly.
They're going to go jumbo.
Didn't get it.
Did not
even
get it.
Close.
Did not get it on the sprint draw.
How about that? It looked like, among others, Jaden Arenas Michelle, number big 99, the big cat there with a stop. And once again, the red wall dominates on defense this time.
Going for it on fourth down at midfield, trying the sprint draw. Does not work. And another nice defensive play for the Red Raiders, who take over with 10:27 to play in the first half.
That is some big boy defense,
Yes.
Jim.
Against a big boy offense.
Yes.
From the 49-yard line. I wondered if they would go big. Screen pass.
Oh,
Shakai Mills Knight, that's the old, you
Boy, he
got to
had-
look it in, right?
he had a convoy with him had he held on to that one. And it was a great call against a perfect defense. You just got to, as you said, Jim, you got to look it in before you spin and turn it upfield.
Briggs Cherry that time executed almost too much in the fact that, yeah, you want penetration on a screen pass. There was almost too much penetration. Then you thought, oh, they beat the odds, and Shakai Mills Knight, a rare drop for him. 2nd and 10. He'll make up for it here, going right up between the tackles and moving into Brentwood territory for a third straight time.
And again, Jim, one of those plays, it looked like it was going to go for a bunch, and the Eagles closed the door quickly, and this brings up 3rd and long.
I'm calling it 3rd and 8 for the Red Raiders. 3rd and 7. Have to get to the 41-yard line. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. You don't know if the Red Raiders might be thinking 2-down territory. 2 receivers left, 2 right. No tight end. Cherry flares it out and tapped it incomplete.
Miscommunication that time. Shakai was looking back, but didn't expect the football to be coming to him that soon in that play.
I think you credit the Brentwood Academy defensive line for that. They got good penetration on that particular series, and Briggs Cherry had to unload again just a half second before he wanted to, and just a half second before Shakai Mills Knight was ready.
And now you need Sam Shutters, your sophomore punter, to flip the field.
Interesting where you punt the football right here. Snap is good, takes his time, goes rugby style. It's going to take a Baylor roll, obviously, inside the 20, so about the 17.
And all things considered, pretty
Not bad.
solid there.
Yeah.
Looked like that was Brentwood playing a complete pressure package, it looked like that time. Didn't get the block, so they'll start deep in their own territory.
There are 4 teams still alive in Division II Class AAA. This game, Brentwood Academy and Baylor, and the other contest, McCauley and Ensworth. And I said it earlier, nothing has changed my mind. Those are 4 quality teams. If you were to go through the season, say who are the best 4 teams and the best 4 teams in late November, I would say these 4. McIntyre throws it long, up in the air, one-on-one coverage, and it is. Did he hang on?
It's caught by Jamie and Theodore. He picked it off.
Theodore picks it up.
No!
They call simultaneous possession is the call, and that always favors the offensive player.
Well-
so they're saying a simultaneous possession, although I think I could argue that one.
Well, they're going to get bailed out because it's an ineligible man downfield.
Wow. I thought that Theodore had that one all the way.
I did too.
And then the
I think
receiver
he
came
down
in
with a
Receiver
football.
downfield, number 3. He was covered up on the line of scrimmage. First down.
Well, that's a huge penalty. That's a huge penalty.
And it's about a 50-yard penalty.
Yeah. Again, Jamie and Theodore almost.
I mean, I thought he landed on his back
I did
with
too.
the football.
I did too.
And I think, and let's credit Keyshawn Bowman for hustling for his team. He somehow came away with the football.
Where Baylor would decline that penalty and had the possession. McIntyre, as you can see on your screen, long and lean, does not weigh 200 pounds. That's 6'5". Already committed to Tennessee. You saw he had a little arm strength, right?
Yes. Again, Jamie and Theodore, great defense that time.
He's had a great
In
year.
the proper position every time.
I think he's had an outstanding year. You talk about someone that really emerged. I can't think of too many better defensive backs I've seen all season long.
Man, I have to agree with you on that.
I know that pains you, doesn't it? Second down. McIntyre trying to extend the play. Does so. Works far side, middle of the field. Pass complete.
That was really outstanding effort. McIntyre, again, under center, play action, got to the sideline and found his man open and had a lot of steam on that football.
Yeah, throwing it on the run. Gets within a yard or two of a first down. It's going to be third down and short. A big offensive line against a big defensive line. Compact those bodies in there on third down and short. Going right up the middle. That should be enough. It will be enough for a Brentwood first down. Brentwood Academy, they have gotten better and better as the season is going along. Clock running, you can see. Under 8 minutes to play in the first half. First down.
Maddox McClure, number 62, is injured. Problem with one of his arms.
Timeout. Injury timeout.
I saw an interview earlier today, it kind of made me laugh. Paul Wade is in his first year as the head coach at Brentwood Academy. His dad's name was Bill Wade. If you don't know, Bill Wade was a great quarterback at Vanderbilt and then a great quarterback in the NFL. Dating myself, I remember when I was a kid following the Chicago Bears, Bill Wade was the quarterback for the Bears, and he said people by mistake would look in the phone book and think they were going to get the NFL quarterback and instead got his family. He goes, our family took calls from Bart Starr, Mike Ditka, and other people looking for the Bill Wade that was the quarterback from Vanderbilt in the NFL, and instead they got his dad, who was not involved in the NFL in any way, shape, or form. They go, no, you want the Bill Wade that lives on so-and-so street, not the Bill Wade where we were. He goes, yeah. We talked to Ditka, Bart Starr, and he reeled off 2 or 3 other NFL powerhouses.
That's great stuff.
That called the house by mistake.
Maddox McClure, it's a problem with his right arm. And they're going to get him under the tent.
Not a good place to be. McIntyre with time. Loops it out near side, pass complete. Near sideline, breaking a tackle.
And there you see how effective they can be offensively, Jim. Boy, that was a long throw. Eli Ferguson, the sophomore receiver, made that catch.
And got the first down at the 42-yard line. Yeah, that's a 13-yard pickup.
That'll be good for another first down for the Eagles.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Back-to-back first downs for the Eagles on a drive that started inside their 20-yard line.
Baylor scored on their first 2 possessions. They've had 3 possessions, 2 touchdowns by Shakai Mills-Knight, and a punt. McIntyre with a play-action look. Throws it long once again. Center of the field. Baylor collapses, and it's an incomplete pass.
And again, Jamie and Theodore in the proper position.
You get that receiver bracketed. If he can get inside help and outside help, then you've done your job.
Kobe Barrett was the help over the top, but number 5 right on time.
Don't think you're going to pick on him. Not very often. You may complete a pass or two, but we've seen him come up with some picks of his own.
That time, Brentwood did a nice job on number 99, Jaden Arenas-Michelle. They just let him carry his momentum past George McIntyre.
Play action again. McIntyre to throw. Rolls out far side. A little bit of a chase. Pump fakes once, and he's not going to get hit, but runs out of bounds wisely, picking up a couple of yards, but another 3rd and long, probably a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situation for the Eagles. Still in their own territory, around the 43 or 44-yard line, I think is where they'll spot that. But Eric Kimry was right about McIntyre having that ability to extend plays.
Boy, that time, Charles Shivers and I think Todd Hammond, big dudes, even when you get past them, it's hard to get around them.
Joel Lowenberg was out back in the lineup at that linebacker spot for the Red Raiders on 3rd down and long. Passing down for the Eagles. McIntyre now being chased, tries to go back the other way, successful in doing so. Up in the air and incomplete.
Almost an incredible catch. What a sequence of events.
Yeah.
McIntyre just about broke some kneecaps turning around that time. There's a flag down. Yep. Are they calling that, Jim, a crackback? It was an explosive hit.
Blindside block. Offense. Number 55. That penalty's been declined. 4th down.
That's on Jordan Phillips, the sophomore left guard for Brentwood Academy. And it was a pop.
You know, that's what you do. Interesting. When you're going against a quarterback like McIntyre, you said, I'll just take the ball now. I'm not going to move it back the 10 yards. Let me just give it to him on 4th down and 8 and make him punt. Take your time. Takes a few steps, lets it fly. Baylor hopes it makes the end zone, and it does.
And it does. So the Baylor defense holds serve, although that was a very physical possession for the Eagles.
And you could see Brentwood Academy, they got some firepower now.
They do. McIntyre is as good improvising as he is out of a basic set offense.
And more dangerous maybe in option A, when it's in his control. And that's one of the key things that Eric Kimry, when he talked about McIntyre, said he could make all the throws, but so good at extending the play. College coaches, every coach everywhere, whatever level, looking for that. A quarterback, not necessarily to just burn you with his legs, although he can do that, but extend plays. So Baylor takes over with 6:38 to play in the first half and a 14-0 lead. Sparks in motion, gets the underhand flip, tiptoes near sideline, crosses the 30. That's good enough for a Baylor first down.
And the block that really set the table for that game, delivered by Shakai Mills-Knights on the edge there, which created even more of a running lane for Cam Sparks.
When you get receivers blocking for running backs and running backs blocking for receivers, that just shows me so much about a team. 1st and 10. Cherry completes it to Cam Sparks.
Man,
I thought Briggs was so smart because he took a look, because he didn't know. Sometimes you've seen the players, defensive players, shoot the gap, and that could end up in pick 6 land. He just made sure. It took an extra second. I thought that was really smart.
Luke Robertson had him squared up and missed, and Shakai Mills-Knight turned no gain into a 6-yard gain.
Second down, tight end moves in motion. 2 receivers left. Cherry goes right. Mr. Dotson enters the field of play.
Boy, what a nice blocking scheme that time. They bring Ben Darnell in on the left side, then they pull him, and he picked up a blitzing defensive back that time, which created a great throwing lane for Cherry.
10-yard gain to midfield, and it's 1st and 10. Right at the 50-yard line. Cherry again. Caden Dewey. What a nice gain.
And the Deuce gets loose again, and it's another first down for the Red Raiders.
As Cam Sparks blocking that time, gave his teammate a little bit of clearance, and then Cam Dewey did a lot of that on his own.
Jim, it looks like these are one-read options for Briggs Cherry right now. You got option 1, get rid of it quickly, use the entire field, sideline to sideline.
It's really Baylor that's kind of in that rhythm right now, don't you think?
Yes.
They overload the left side. Cherry pulls it back, looking long, down the near sideline. Bobbled out of bounds and incomplete.
Threw that one a little late, and Bisalele, not quite the best route, was really heading towards out of bounds, but
saw him smack himself on the helmet.
It's great to have that kind of athletic talent at your disposal on both sides of the football, which number 21 brings.
2nd and 10 from the 37-yard line with exactly 5 minutes to play in half number 1. Glad you're in the semifinal round game. Next stop for the winner is Finley Stadium in the title contest. Shekai Mills Knight, a little stiff arm, old school.
Here we go. That was student body left.
Down to the 31, which is not enough for a first down. Getting about 6, so it's 3rd down and 4. I think you got 2 cracks, I think, to get 4 yards right here. Shekai Mills Knight is no small individual, is he? He's thick.
There we go. That's going to be a first down.
On the penalty because of contact. Encroachment.
Of the snap, encroachment, number 10, defense.
That is
5-yard penalty.
at least the 3rd
First down.
pre-snap penalty on the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, I think those penalties are certainly starting to mount.
I think it's 5 already.
That one a first down. Not quite.
One of the few times we've seen Joakim Dotson get 2 hands on the football and not bring it in. And that had some sizzle on it from Briggs Cherry.
Yeah. The surprise is he didn't make that catch. 2nd and 10 to the 26-yard line. Shekai Mills Knight breaks it outside,
Boy,
then
he
cuts
cut
it
in
back
and
in, and a late
boy.
flag.
Boy, it looked like, Jim, he had the whole right side of the field there. He cut in, and we'll await to see what this penalty is.
Now 53 was the one,
They're going to call a hold.
yeah, who said he was held.
Holding, offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty for the previous ball, 2nd down.
That's Charlie Edgeworth they're going to call on that.
And Brody Belleville, the defensive lineman for Brentwood Academy, he was the one protesting the most, and he got his call. So 2nd down and long, all the way back at the 36-yard line. Better hurry. Yeah, he did not see that rush from the
Never
blind
saw it.
side.
And let's credit Luke Robeson, man. He came, it was a delayed blitz a little bit, Jim. He was absolutely free.
By the time Cherry saw him coming from his right side, it was
over.
too late. So now it's 3rd and not quite an eternity, but you have to get to the 17-yard line to pick up a first down, and
But
you're at the 38.
Boy, Jim, you feel like if you could somehow get to the 30, you'd have a shot at a field goal.
Yeah, you might want to get half of it back. You might go screen pass here, something like that. Underneath, pass complete 40. Going down around the 37-yard line. So a field goal from here is 52, 53 yards. If you want to do that. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if you want to do that. Your defense is playing well. A lot of bad things can happen on a long field goal attempt, low trajectory.
Well, they're going to do it.
So they'll go 54, right?
Philippe LaForge
for 54. They played in a hurricane when they met earlier this season. Going for 54. That ground ball.
Goodness.
I was looking forward to seeing that attempt. So the snap rolled back to the holder, never had a chance. And Brentwood Academy is held.
And what a change here. Potential turn of events in terms of momentum. 3:04 left. George McIntyre and the Eagles take over at the 39-yard line.
And that's enough time. So let's see McIntyre. Let's see what the philosophy is. You score before the half, you feel like you're right back in the game. McIntyre pulls it back. Wants to throw. Look at that football. Up in the air and incomplete, but that was a thing of beauty.
All day to throw. Baylor's had a tough time getting through that massive offensive line. Now, number 77 now, Terrell Shivers is going to check out of the game for Brentwood.
2nd down and 10, but what they say about quarterbacks go, yeah, he can spin it, and he spun it that time. That was a good-looking pass. Good defensive play by Baylor to break up the pass, but McIntyre had some time. And again, they talk about his control, and he throws a great-looking football.
He really does.
He gets some style points. He'll try it again. Put that on the outside.
Baylor brought some heat that time. Bradley Ilunga-Bisalele on the right side. But that ball was just not accurate. Tough. That would have been a really tough catch, and the Eagles didn't reel it in. 3rd and long.
I think Baylor realizes you can't just let him sit back there and find a receiver, because guess what?
Well, especially with Big 77 out, you got to take advantage of that.
3rd down and 10. So 2 incomplete passes from the 5-star quarterback headed to Knoxville. You don't think they'll try to put a few pounds on McIntyre, do you?
I think they will.
Crowd becomes alive for one of the first times tonight.
Proud of the snap, false start.
Wow.
Number 11.
Sixth
5-yard penalty.
Sixth penalty. Most of those pre-snap for Brentwood.
They've had a lot of those penalties where first game of the season, okay, second or third. Not game number 11 and 12, right?
Well, Jim, you're looking for an edge. When you deal with the size that both these lines have to deal with, you're just looking to get off that football as fast as you can and get into position to protect your quarterback.
In other words, you're trying to cheat. Baylor shows blitz. Let's see if they're coming. They are. McIntyre throws underneath. Nicely done. Breaking 1 tackle, breaking 2, breaking 3, breaking more. Into the open. Wow.
Just a great effort by Keyshawn Bowman that time.
That's why he's one of the best receivers in the state.
Baylor came out with everything they had. They got some pressure on McIntyre. It wasn't the best pass in the world, but number 11 made it in and got his hands on it and turned it upfield.
Wow. I enjoy the chess match. There's a lot of big people, and I understand, but coaches going back and forth against each other. That's what makes it a great game. Cutting it back. Pretty good. Squared up tackle that time.
Nice open field tackle that time by Kobe Barrett, because that had some room to grow, that play.
All of a sudden, Brentwood on a roll. with 2:20 and counting to play in the first half. At the 21-yard line. McIntyre 6'5". 6'5" and 5 stars. Hands it off far side.
Wow.
Diving to the stick, but not quite getting enough yardage for the first down.
I think that was Joel Lowenberg that brought the low bridge that got the running back airborne.
Isaiah Williams once again. Big third down play. Third down about 3. At around the 16-yard line. I think a third down about 2. McIntyre to throw.
Just miscommunication that time. Keyshawn Bowman went in a little bit of a square in, and that pass was thrown towards the sideline.
Yeah, receiver and quarterback were not on the same page. Now you have a fourth down. Now McIntyre's walking off the field slowly, and now
he's coming back.
Yeah, trotting back on quickly.
Just like they did a couple of series ago.
Fourth down. Biggest play of the first half right here. Handoff up the middle, running room, and a first down.
Larry Sanders Jr. with a major effort that time.
Getting down to the 10. He's got some talent. He's done that a couple of times. Stopped and started. Great acceleration. We'll mark it at the 11-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10.
A lot of poise from the Eagles on
Yes.
this drive.
Absolutely. Sanders again breaks a tackle, gets close to the end zone, dives forward.
That is a
touchdown.
Boy, great cut to his right, great cut back, and the Eagles right back in this thing. And they'll start the third quarter with the football.
Scoring with 51 seconds to play in the first half on an 11-yard touchdown run. Barona's trying the extra point. Little high snap. Not a problem. So it's 14-7 and a 1-possession game. Baylor scored on their first 2 possessions of the night. Took a 14-0 lead. That's a big play for the Eagles right there. Brentwood Academy pulling within 7 on Larry Sanders' 11-yard touchdown run. That's a 56-yard drive. And remember, it occurred after Baylor had a problem trying the long field goal.
The bad snap on the long field goal, that's a turnover on downs, and they go 56 yards when they absolutely had to have it.
To stay in the game.
London Baronas will kick off for the Eagles. Deep to receive for Baylor. And Sparks and Caden Dewey.
51 seconds remaining. Here's where if you get some sort of return, maybe you do something, but
They're not going to have it.
yeah. Returns have been at a premium so far tonight, meaning we've had 0. Both these kickers putting it into the end zone, so Baylor possessions, their last couple were punt, missed field goal. So this will be possession number 5. Baylor went touchdown, touchdown, then punt, missed field goal, and this will be possession number 5 in the first half for the Red Raiders. They got 51 seconds.
We've seen it. It's doable.
A lot of times on this first down play, if you pick up some yards, you go, okay, let's think go. Or
We're going to go. Yep, they're going to get receiver at the top of the pattern for offsides, it looks like.
Prior to snap, 17. Offense. Encroachment.
They're going to get
Lined up
Cam's.
in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
First down.
So many pre-snap penalties
Yeah.
between these two. Maybe not as many as Baylor as Brentwood Academy. Boy, they just seem to be so costly.
And again, you start out 1st and 15. You start out behind the sticks. Shakai Mills Knight gets the penalty yards back, but I don't think either team is in any big hurry to stop the clock right now.
Well, Baylor's going no huddle.
Going no huddle, but no hurry.
True.
As you see, about a 3-second differential between play clock. Near side, trying to free up Dotson one-on-one. Not a bad idea.
And he stayed inbounds. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down, Jim.
I think it'll bring up halftime.
You are correct. The Brentwood Academy crowd. Loud.
Feeling better than they did about 5 minutes ago,
Yes.
no doubt about that. So Baylor scores on their first 2 possessions, don't score on their last 3. It was a punt, it was touchdown, punt, missed field goal, then the end of the first half. Those were the 5 possessions for Baylor. For Brentwood Academy, punt, turned it over on downs, punt, and then scored a touchdown. So Brentwood had the football 4 times in the first half. Baylor had it 5. Baylor scores twice. Brentwood scores to get back in the ball game right before the half. So a 1-possession game. I'll say it again. If anyone thought that this would be easy for the Red Raiders, easy for the number 1 team in the state, guess again. Brentwood Academy, they are good. Started out strong and got better as the season went on. Their last loss, a 7-6 loss to the Red Raiders at the end of September. So the officials conferring, but I think we're officially at halftime.
We are.
In the first half, Shakai Mills Knight scored first, 23-yard touchdown run, 7:57 mark. That capped an 80-yard drive, and Baylor scores on possession number 1 to go up 7-0. Shakai Mills Knight again, possession number 2. Red Raiders go 80 yards in 9 plays, using 5 minutes and 11 seconds, and 2 possessions into the game, and Shakai Mills Knight had scored 2 touchdowns. And then Larry Sanders, pretty talented running back for the Eagles. He scores with 51 seconds to play in the first half, scoring on an 11-yard touchdown run, a well-executed 56-yard drive in 7 plays, 2:54 on the clock. That makes it a 1-possession game at halftime. Red Raiders on top, 14-7 at the intermission. So, Craig, just to recap, I thought Baylor started out strong. They threw the first punch, landed the first punch. I give Brentwood Academy credit, though, hanging in there and making some crucial plays on that last drive before the half, right back in the ball game.
Boy, you can see it is a team that's used to playing in a lot of big games. George McIntyre just did not flinch on that drive, made some plays off balance, off schedule, and the Eagles get right back into this thing. And now suddenly the key possession will be this first possession of the 3rd quarter when the Eagles will start with the football.
Yeah, that's one of those. Brentwood Academy, a little momentum going into the locker room or going over to the sideline at halftime. So we're in the playoffs, 1 win away from the title game. Both these teams winning last week, obviously, and that's the reason they're still alive. Brentwood Academy, like the Red Raiders, got a first-round bye. Last week, the Eagles knocked off Father Ryan 43-14, taking on the Red Raiders here tonight. Baylor also a first-round bye, and then a big win over Memphis University School last week. So in tonight's semifinal round, we're at halftime. Red Raiders on top by a touchdown at the intermission. sit back and enjoy halftime on the Baylor campus at the intermission. Less than a minute before the second half gets underway, and I think we're correct in saying these are two quality teams. If you counted Brentwood Academy out after they fell behind 14-0, guess again, because they're here for the fight.
They really are. George McIntyre has lived up to all the advanced billing. One thing I notice, even when he scrambles, his receivers look back and they look for open. They expect all of them. They expect to get their hands on the football, and that's really what you need when you have a quarterback that's so effective off schedule.
Yeah, extending those plays. And again, teams practice that. You have to work your way back to the quarterback, and they've done a pretty good job of doing that. And those receivers for the Eagles are pretty darn good themselves.
Jim, I'll tell you this too. Baylor's defense, they're going to have to get more pressure on George McIntyre. He was entirely too comfortable for most of that last drive there where they got their first touchdown. They got to find a way to get some heat on George McIntyre.
A couple of times they got in the backfield, he was able to escape. That kind of keeps you flat-footed, I think, because you don't want to get beat that way on the run until all of a sudden you become a little bit more tentative, and tentative is usually not the way that Baylor plays defensively. I'm like you, though. I think this will be a huge possession to start the second half in a one-touchdown game in this semifinal round. Winner goes to Finley Stadium to take on the winner of Ensworth and McCauley. Those two teams now underway, squaring off in Nashville. Not taking a chance and taking it at the 20-yard line. Haven't seen Keyshawn Bowman really excel, but every so often we see.
He's made a couple of big plays.
I was going to say,
off, on broken plays, and they'd love to get 11 loose in this thing. But really, the key to this whole thing is, as you would expect, number 12, George McIntyre at quarterback for the Eagles.
Yeah, again, the most talented guys, they make it look the easiest sometimes, and he can throw a football. There's no question about that, and he can keep a play alive. Reason he got 5 stars next to his name. To start the second half. Throws it on the far side, turning the corner far side. Penalty flag goes down.
Baylor is signaling that it's on Brentwood Academy.
Usually that's a hold if it's not a face mask. So it went
agree.
down a little bit early, so likely a holding call against the Eagles.
It is a hold.
Boy, I think they have.
During the run,
That's
we have holding. Offense number 5.
by my
That's a
count.
spot foul. First down.
By my count, Jim, that's 7 penalties.
I think they had 14 last week against Father Ryan, because the headline in the Tennessean was Brentwood Academy wins despite all the penalties they had against Father Ryan. So this is not anything new for the Eagles. Getting those flags thrown every so often. Holding call, then trying to come back with a running play. That works. Far sideline and a nice run.
Well blocked by the Eagles. Now Baylor shifted to that side right before the snap, but they were just outmanned, outflanked, and beat on that play.
And another flag
Another
down.
flag. I think we're about to find out why. Block in the back. Wow.
Boy, for Brentwood Academy, you come out in the second half
8.
and you start with a
During the
couple of
run,
penalties.
Block in the back. Offense number 4. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Wow.
They're going to call Wilkes Eaton from the tight end spot with that block in the back.
He has one nice catch so far tonight, and
So instead of near the 45, you go back,
again.
and it's 1st and 15 from the 14.
That'll be a previous spot enforcement.
So they're going to enforce this from the 14,
And then move it back.
walk it back to the 8-yard line.
Wow.
The Brentwood faithful not happy with that call.
Plus they're cold.
Yes.
That has something to do with your attitude as the game
That's
goes
some
on.
analysis you don't get anywhere else.
Troy Aikman, eat your heart out, buddy. Dan Kennedy says 1st and 22, and I'm going with that. McIntyre running play. Trying to keep the Red Raiders a little bit off balance, and he gets the penalty back and sets up a 3rd and 10.
They have found something they like,
Yes.
an adjustment over
I
the
agree.
half, and Larry Sanders Jr. is making it look very, very easy. All of a sudden, you're at 2nd and 9, Jim.
Yeah, you got a good chunk of that penalty back, and that's all you wanted on the play. So now you're in manageable territory once again. Hand off to Sanders.
Boy, they caught Baylor in a blitz that time.
I think Brentwood Academy probably thought the same thing you and I did, that Baylor had to get more pressure on McIntyre. And again, we talked about the chess match a little bit earlier on. That chess match is okay. If you're going to pass blitz, if you're going to go after the quarterback, you're going to overrun my running back, Larry Sanders.
Well, this
And
is
just
a
see
big one here in this chess match. 3rd and 3.
3-man front for Baylor defensively. McIntyre hands it off. Sanders hit once and twice and will not get the first down.
Boy, Baylor brought pressure that time right up the middle, and that just blew that play up.
And who would you expect?
Joel Lowenberg,
Thank you very much. That's the right answer.
number 4 in the mix, and that will force an Eagle punt.
Now, there's good and bad in all that, in the fact that Brentwood able to overcome, a couple of penalties and still get in a manageable situation. And then for Brentwood, they can't convert on the 3rd down and short. Baylor gets the football back, still with a 1-touchdown advantage. Baylor won the first meeting between these two 7-6. There's the punt, a little bit of a line drive, but luckily for Baylor, it checks up around the 20.
Tyler Rice just let that go, and that's a good decision. They're going to start at the 20-yard line. And this is a nervous crowd on the Baylor sideline.
And for the winner of this game, in the championship game, and the competition will get pretty darn good next week as well. The winner of Ensworth and McCauley plays the winner of this contest, Brentwood Academy and Baylor, in the championship game Thursday, December 5th at Finley Stadium. Briggs Cherry. He hands it off to Shakai Mills Knight. Busts into the open. A foot race that he is going to win.
Number 1 goes 80 yards, and it looks like the Baylor offense made an adjustment at halftime as well.
Shakai Mills Knight, his 3rd touchdown run of the night. A 23-yard touchdown run, a 13-yard touchdown run, and how about an 80-yard touchdown run? And now all of a sudden it's a 2-score lead for the Red Raiders. First touch of the second half, and the Red Raiders busted for 80.
How about that, Jim? One play, 80 yards.
That is a very important 12-second drive. One play, Shakai Mills Knight. 80 yards and his 3rd touchdown of the night. 3 touchdowns for the Red Raiders, all for number 1. That was the most impressive one. An 80-yard sprint for the score.
Now that appeared to be something they were ready for at halftime, and they just got them in just the right defense and executed perfectly. Let's check this out again.
Yeah,
on the
watch
replay.
this.
Just had the big guy stood up, and right there, this thing is over. Shakai went to his right, virtually untouched. 80 yards, 1 play, 12 seconds. It's a 14-point lead for the Baylor Red Raiders.
What a turnaround to start the second half. Couple of penalties for Brentwood. They're forced to punt it away. One play later in the end zone for number 1.
Would they have, Jim? Brentwood had 12 penalties last week?
They had, I think 13 was the number against Father Ryan, and still prevailed.
By my count, they've got 8 so far tonight.
It will not be returned. But there's still plenty of time for Brentwood Academy.
Plenty.
Turn things around when it looks like Baylor was going to romp. Scored in their last possession of the first half. Then tried to do the double. Scored in their last possession first half. They got the football first to start the second half. Couldn't overcome a couple of penalties, and then lightning struck for the Red Raiders. They go 80 yards in one play on a Shakai Mills Knight sprint. From the 20. Down 14, but if you're Brentwood Academy, you go, that's doable. McIntyre completes the pass. Good coverage. That's one of those you say, you know what? They got a really good quarterback and some really good receivers. They're just going to catch some passes, limit it to a 3 or 4 yard gain, and that's what the Red Raiders did.
Baylor defense that time fought off those blocks,
Yes.
and were able to contain that. But boy, that still, Jim, was close to being a bit of an explosive play there for the Eagles.
Baylor shows blitz, sneaking up 4 at the line of scrimmage. Sanders again, far side. Nice running room again, and forced out of bounds after Brentwood Academy picks up a first down at the 35-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10. Eagles on their own make it the 36-yard line. Larry Sanders can play too, can he?
He sure can. He has got, I think he starts at full speed.
They didn't talk about him that much. What you just alluded to, his acceleration, I think, is awesome. 2 receivers near side. They put the man in motion. Quick pass, quick hit, and yeah, I thought he was going to escape, but no. Waited for some help.
That's a fantastic open field tackle by Cody Davenport.
And that's going to end up to be no gain on the play.
That's incredible.
You're right. Kind of grabbed him by the ankle.
Held on and got some help from his friends. But that initial, I mean, that was a collision there.
Yes. McIntyre from the gun. Sanders gets the call on the far side.
Watch out here.
Running room near side.
Great cutback run that time, and what vision.
Yeah, Jamian Theodore finally got him down, but
I think that was Isaiah Williams.
It was.
Man, he saw the cutback. That was a bit over pursued, and he just went right up the gut for a bunch.
yeah, when you thought you had him stopped, and he busted it the other way. Player down for Brentwood on the other end of the field. Now, the way they're looking, that looks like a cramp by one of the big offensive linemen.
Actually, that's Brentwood.
Yeah, Brentwood has the player down right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So Brentwood here inside the 30 at the 28.
Yeah, they're treating him like it's a cramp, but great run.
Ooh, wow, that doesn't look good. That's big number 76, Todd Hammond. It's a cramp, we hope, but it's certainly not anything that he can walk on right now. Yeah, Jim, they continue to stretch that right calf.
Oof, that can hurt. Brentwood beat Father Ryan, got a first-round bye in the playoffs. Knocked off Father Ryan 43-14, so won convincingly despite all the penalty problems they had a week ago. But again, now you're in this situation. Brentwood Academy regained some momentum in the second quarter, trying to get it back once again right here.
I hope it's a cramp because number
I do too.
76 cannot
I'm
put
with you.
any weight on that right leg.
It might be
not much at all. It
Yeah.
looks really painful.
It might be more serious than that. A cramp, you usually try to walk off if you can. Down to the 28-yard line where it's a first down.
Hammond has been an effective lineman on both sides of the football tonight.
That is Williams. Isaiah Williams, number 8. McIntyre wants to throw. Being chased, being rushed and brought down.
Bam!
They did let him escape that time.
My goodness.
Got some pressure, wouldn't let him go, and it's Jimmy Bryson.
Big Jimmy Bryson playing offensive line and defensive line. That was a needed defensive play. And they, again, Jim, they teased that long pass to the far sideline.
Watch this.
But McIntyre just, right here, he knows he's in serious trouble. And Jimmy Bryson just shuts that down.
That's a loss all the way back. That's a 20-yard loss. That's 20 yards. McIntyre scrambling once again. He stops once again and just throws it away.
I'll tell you what, Maddox McClure in pursuit there. Folks, they are not pulling any punches on the offensive and defensive lines tonight. There are some violent collisions.
And again, McIntyre extending the play, had time, tried to pick out a receiver, and again, good secondary coverage by the Red Raiders that time.
So we have on the defensive line now C.J. Weiler, Bradley Ilunga Bisalele, and Jaden Arenas Michelle.
3rd and 30 at the 48-yard line. You have to get to the 18 to pick up a first down.
Here's the quandary, Jim. You can't let McIntyre, you can't send the house, but you can't let him be comfortable either.
Problem smash. Delay a game. Offense, number 12.
And that's penalty.
Penalty. Down in lane. 3rd.
That's at least 9 by my count, and most of those pre-snap.
Now 3rd and 35. 3rd and 35.
Maybe now you can bring some heat, or completely just go 3-man front
Yeah.
and back off in coverage.
Yeah, you got one of 2 ways to go. Whatever's going to happen here is going to have to take a long amount of time to develop. How about that?
Bam.
Ouch.
B.I.B. with the S-A-C-K, Bradley Ilunga Bisalele. Hello.
A couple of minutes ago, Brentwood Academy was at the Baylor 28-yard line. Now they're going to punt this away from their own 35.
The Baylor defense put that drive in R.
Shoo. With an exclamation point, I think. Wow. Back-to-back sacks. Got a hand up. Checks up for the Red Raiders.
All things considered, pretty fair kick for the Eagles.
So Baylor will take over on about the 21-yard line.
Top of your screen, number 21 comes barreling in and hammers George McIntyre.
So much for that being tentative stuff, right?
Yeah, there was no finesse in that one.
They went right after the quarterback and got him. One of the big plays of the night. Now you take a look, and there's 17:49 left to play in the game. Think about how many I always say this, if you're Brentwood, how many more possessions are you going to get? And time does indeed become a factor. Completed pass, near side, hit out of bounds.
Both these teams do such a nice job of stretching the field
I
laterally.
I agree.
That time, Caden Dewey with a very nice catch, and that really is a long handoff that turns into a first down. And to your point, Jim, you know you're going to get the ball at least twice, and now it's a 2-possession game.
Caden Dewey has had a real nice night, and I know Shakai Mills' night is going to get, deservedly so, all the headlines, but Caden Dewey has had a nice, solid night. Up the middle again.
Boy, you just feel like Shakai sees something after that first big touchdown.
I think he sees he'd like to be in the end zone one more
And
time.
I think that offensive line
Yes.
is feeling like they're gaining some ground as well.
Tough to go against that red wall, as you call it, all night long. Going to reverse. Can they get the one block to spring it? Yeah.
And how about Briggs Cherry from his quarterback spot with just enough of a block to set that thing loose.
Cam Sparks on the end around.
Looked like that may be the first time we've seen that all year.
Needed that one seal block, and who was there to throw it? Number 3.
Number 3 got just enough.
So into Brentwood territory with under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 46.
That time Brentwood had to bring a bit of a run blitz. Luke Robeson, the senior, coming in from his linebacker spot to make that tackle. And it was a good one, no gain.
No gain on the play, but again, Baylor's counting the number of possessions that Brentwood's going to get as well. And you certainly can't think total clock and say, you know what, we got to score. But the clock is a good friend of theirs right now. Cherry drops straight back over the middle to Dotson. Spin move. That had some mustard on it from Briggs Cherry.
And a great route against the perfect defense. Dotson found the open spot, the soft spot, sat there, and it was a strike from Cherry.
He said he throws the fastball and brings it down to the 23-yard line. Nice pass and catch by the Red Raiders. Points for Baylor would be huge on their trek to the championship game. Shakai Mills Knight in traffic trying to run between the tackles.
Yeah, they are keying on number 1.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yes, I would all night long.
Now they're going to put Dotson at the top, Cam in the slot. Darnell and Bisalele on the near side.
Mills Knight to run once again, cuts it inside, gets inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line.
And this brings up a 3rd down.
Right at the 20.
And 7.
Trying to convert here, have to get inside the 15. In fact, inside the 14-yard line, not quite to the 13. Cherry, pass and catch.
Mission accomplished.
There
what
you go.
A route, and Cam Sparks shielded the defender.
His perfect body position, didn't he?
Posted up, and it was a strike, and that was not an easy catch. He made it look easy. It wasn't.
Down to the 10-yard line. Had great body position that time. Those are little things in the difference between completed passes and those that are knocked away. Showing blitz. Mills Knight up the middle. Ooh, they try to wishbone him before Thanksgiving.
Boy, and once again, you see Luke Robeson come in on a run blitz, barreling in there. They're gambling a bit defensively to stop this Baylor running game. It was effective that time.
Less than 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Big number 79 for the Red Raiders there. Wow.
Gabe Osenda.
He's had a great 2024. Mills Knight cuts it back, hit from behind. Down to about the 6-yard line. And there's just over a minute to play in the third quarter. Points would be huge right here. If you make Brentwood try to score 3 times in the fourth quarter, not impossible, but a tough task, a tough ask.
Play clock is at 7 seconds.
Trying to flip it far side, wide open in the end zone.
That's just too easy. They bring Bradley Ilunga Bisalele in motion, and he's never accounted for.
Yeah, he started out left side, went to the right side, and you're right, no one picked him up. They just threw a jump pass through him. It's a huge score for Baylor with 43 seconds to play in the third quarter to go up 27-7 and trying to add to that. And it's good. No good, sorry.
They blew it dead.
Flag.
Priority snap, false start. 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, replay.
Another pre-snap penalty,
Yeah.
penalty, this time on Baylor.
So we'll try it again. Red Raiders looking for their 28th point of the night. And the kick is good. Red Raiders 28. Brentwood Academy 7. So you got less than 16 minutes to play in the game, and you're asking Brentwood Academy to score 3 touchdowns in this fourth quarter. Nice 79-yard drive.
Good ball, personal foul.
Watch this, 21, nobody covers him, no one.
15-yard penalty. be on
Cherry
the kickoff.
spots him, an easy touchdown. Again, they bring 21 in motion. He is just not accounted for, and that's as easy of a pitch and catch as you will see in a state semifinal playoff game.
That's playing in the backyard right there, isn't it?
It is. And Jim, with the penalty,
It got a little chippy all of a sudden.
they're going to kick. They're going to mark it off from the 40. And you know what I'm thinking here.
Onside kick. They
I
won't
mean,
do
you're
it.
going to start at the 45.
Won't do it. Kick him deep. Ilunga Bisalele with the touchdown reception. 79 yards, 8 plays. They use over 4 minutes time of possession. One quick strike for Baylor tonight, but 3 of their other touchdown drives have been 4 and 5 minutes.
And he put that between the uprights.
That's just showing off, I think. Let's see, because now the running game, I think, is out the window, right?
I don't know, Jim.
If you're Brentwood Academy, you have to score 3 times.
Well, number one, you really can't beat yourself. And the Eagles, they have got to get a handle on these pre-snap penalties. They've had a receiver down, covered up. That was a penalty, negated a 50-yard gain. So you can't beat yourself first and foremost.
From the 20. Pass complete to Keyshawn Bowman, an elite receiver.
That moves the chains. And you see what pressure that puts on the defense, Jim. Your defensive backs have to make great open field tackles on a play like that. And there's let's be honest, very few high school quarterbacks that have the arm strength to get that to the receiver so quickly.
1st and 10, this final minute of the 3rd quarter. McIntyre, a delayed blitz by Lowenberg, forcing McIntyre to put it up in the air and throw it away. McIntyre went back. Lowenberg stayed in his linebacker spot and then put it in full gear.
That time, Chris Reniger turned, wheeled, and made a bit of a defensive play on Neo Clifton to take away an option. I don't know if McIntyre even saw him, but number 3, Clifton, was open. A great adjustment that time by Chris Reniger in the open field at the near sideline here.
Second down and 10. Final minute of play, 3rd quarter. They show blitz again. Weak side, and couldn't quite get him, but forcing him to throw it away.
Joel Lowenberg killing himself for that, but he got the job done. He affected the pass, and
no question,
McIntyre had to throw it away. The absence of Todd Hammond is being felt on both the offensive and defensive lines for Brentwood Academy. Lowenberg just had a free run that time.
3rd down and 10 for Brentwood Academy, and Baylor's just won the 3rd quarter convincingly, giving themselves some separation. 2 receivers left, 2 right. And they go underneath. Pass complete for a 1st down and more.
Thought he stepped out of bounds. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 47-yard line. I thought he stepped out before that. McIntyre did such a good job that time, Jim. Knew where he was going to go with the football. That was maybe his last option, but he didn't look at that receiver until he let the football go, and that moved the defense away from that receiver.
1st and 10, Brentwood Academy on their own 47. Down by 3 scores. With time. Complete underneath at midfield and then brought down.
Fumble. And to your point, Jim, Brentwood's decided we're gonna air this thing out, either medium or long, but we really don't have time to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, I think the running game is out of the picture, and so's the 3rd quarter for that matter. The Red Raiders now 12 minutes away, 1 quarter away, with a 28-7 lead entering the 4th quarter. The tradition here, the light show at the end of quarter number 3. I think this drive is really important for Brentwood Academy. You score here, score quickly, early here in the 4th quarter. You make it a 2-possession game once again. You definitely have a chance. And if you're the Red Raiders, what you're thinking is everything's got to be in front of me. Don't get burned deep.
Make them work.
Make them work. Make them throw underneath. Make them use time. Make them use plays.
And realize your defense has been much more effective in the second half at getting pressure on George McIntyre.
Yeah, didn't do a great job of getting pressure with 3, but getting pressure with 4 and 5 is a different animal.
They show pressure this time.
Yeah.
They step back.
Yeah. McIntyre running.
And he's in trouble.
For his life. And puts it up in the air and almost picked off.
C.J. Weiler almost had that. My goodness, and the folks in Chicago just got off the couch on that one. That would have brought the house down.
That would have been Italian beefs for everyone now. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you how that works.
As it is, got to play some football here. 3rd down and 6.
I don't know if you're Brentwood. Maybe you are in 4-down territory. So early, though, in the 4th quarter. But you need points. McIntyre. Screen pass, and no one surprised. Another great defensive play.
I thought he was going to go to Robeson at the far sideline. He went quicker on that underneath tunnel screen, and it just, there was no tunnel.
That was a Wile E. Coyote tunnel,
Yes.
right? You run into the side of the wall. And Brentwood will punt the football away.
And I think this is a big win for Baylor.
I agree all day long. Every so often you see some signs of Brentwood Academy getting on a roll, but
look at this, Jim. Baylor's got 9 people within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage.
it is a punt. Baylor wisely gets away, and they get a break as it checks
Don't
back.
they? That took a moccasin bend bounce right there. Spun backwards.
So now 10:51 left to play in the game.
And here's the deal, Jim. You're up 3 possessions. Your whole playbook is at your disposal. We've seen a bit of reverse that we haven't seen. We had a couple of plays we haven't seen all year long. They're going to key on Shakai Mills Knight.
Absolutely.
As you said, who wouldn't?
And I think Shakai Mills Knight will get some opportunities right here. If you can, you want to keep it on the ground and use that clock. But I think we're going to see some plays like that with everyone keying on number 1.
Let me tell you this.
He's going to have some tough sledding.
That was a great open field tackle by number 30, Gavin Schaffler, because had he missed that, we'd have been lighting up the scoreboard again.
Shakai Mills Knight with 3 touchdown runs already tonight, including an 80-yard run for a score. Baylor pretty patient right now as the game clock down to 9.
Coach Kimry wants things to speed up a little bit, though. He's motioning from the sideline.
2 seconds, 1 second. Mills Knight. Yeah, if you get that play clock down to 1 or 2, then the defense could obviously time what they're going to do. And the Brentwood Academy defense needs a big play. They need a turnover right now with under 10 minutes to play in the game.
Briggs Sherry comes to the near sideline, as you see, to get his play from Coach Kimry. It's a 3rd down and 6. And they are intent on using as much of the 24-second clock as they can.
Big play right here. Cherry quickly bobbled and then dropped.
He also had Shakai Mills Knight here wide open on the near side. That was that was like a buffet. Pick your favorite there.
Couldn't bring it in, and so on 4th down, Red Raiders will be forced a rare 1, 2, 3 and
Second
out,
punt of
right?
the night. They're going to come back to that play, Jim. You'll see that again.
So Roberson to return the punt, and look how many on the line of scrimmage. They stack them up there. First and foremost, get the punt off. Takes it a little bit of time. Does get the punt off.
And it takes a Brentwood bounce. They're going to start inside the 50.
They'll start on the Baylor side of the 50-yard line. So good field position, but just 9:11 left to play in the game. (28-7), a 21-point Baylor lead, 9:11. And it is a 9-1-1 for the Eagles of Brentwood Academy right now. They need to score quickly to try and make it a football game. 28-7. Brentwood's lone score right before the end of the first half. McIntyre pulls it back with time. Now some pressure, brings it upfield himself. Takes a hit and loses a lot of time to pick up about 2 yards to the 45-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 47, now 2-yard gain to the 45. Brentwood's not quite moving as quickly as I thought they would.
They really aren't. It's surprising.
I would feel like there would be at least a little bit of a sense of urgency right here. 2nd down, 8. They flipped off the tight end and the wide receiver, who goes from right to left. 3-man front for Baylor. Linebackers will get together and say, who's coming, who's not.
And we got offsides on number 77.
Wow.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 77.
Yeah, and he just doesn't blend in real well, does he?
No, I don't think you can't wear camo on 77 and sneak anything past anybody.
Wow, that
That's
again.
10. That's by my count, 10 penalties.
Double figures in penalties for Brentwood Academy. They were able to overcome that same thing last week against Father Ryan, so this is nothing new for Brentwood Academy. It's been a problem all year long. Going to run with Sanders.
Man, that's a great spin move. He's hard to go down. He does not go down
No, without a fight.
cooperatively.
But he didn't go out of bounds, and so the clock continues to run. Under 8 minutes.
They got all that penalty back. Now, all of a sudden, 3rd and 5. They just keep getting off the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, right when you think they're down, Rocky gets back up,
They
right?
do. Credit to them.
3rd down. And I would say you got 4 downs, don't you think?
Yes.
McIntyre completes the pass, hanging on to an ankle, and there's
That
the help.
That was just a great route. Keyshawn Bowman read the coverage. They gave him cushion, and he took it.
Just enough for a 1st down. They thought about it for a moment. Spotted down the 36-yard line for a Brentwood 1st down.
If you watch this, folks, he knows where he's going the whole time. He saw the coverage, and number 11 found the soft spot in that defense, and they moved the chains.
1st down. McIntyre, the 6'5" quarterback. Running it right up the middle. Then busting it to the outside.
That time there was no cutback lane, but he got a decent push forward.
That was Fontenot, the junior running back who goes 6'1". But you pay for a running play, right?
Well, you do when the clock just continues to run. Yeah, Arquez Fontenot has done a nice job tonight. And again, what we talked about in the opening, again, one of those kids that plays on both sides of the football. And now they're going to have McIntyre check out. They're going to bring in Cruz Jenkins, the 5'11 sophomore, to run the Eagle offense.
Oh, tough spot for the sophomore to come in, right? Hey, we need 3 scores. He pulls it back. Fires it on the outside, complete for a first down.
What a throw under pressure.
Yeah.
McIntyre checks back in, had a problem with his leg.
Yeah.
I think they had to tape up his leg again.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a one play.
Man, that was a big time throw.
It was nice. You come in a sub spot. You don't warm. It's not like baseball. You get to warm up, right?
They didn't change the offense.
6 minutes exactly to play in the football game. High snap for McIntyre. Looks in the corner.
Boy,
And a
that's just-
touchdown.
they're gonna. Baylor folks say he pushed off, but however, I didn't see it. He got separation. That was not an easy catch, folks. Neo Clifton, one of the receivers we talked about. Touchdown catch.
He is signed with Middle Tennessee State, and the Blue Raiders are getting a good one. Neo Clifton, not an easy catch. McIntyre comes right back in and fires a strike in the end zone. Clifton scores, and Brentwood Academy on the board for only the second time tonight. First time since the second quarter.
It looked like, Jim, they got single coverage that time, and Clifton got separation somehow. But look, you know who blocked that kick? Jamian Theodore. Number 5 barrels in to bust up the extra point. Wow.
So 28-13 with the missed extra point. And just 5:54 left to play in the game. 21-yard touchdown pass for McIntyre.
Number 5 barrels in from the top of your screen, untouched, and knocked the football sideways. The extra point deflected. The Eagles dejected, and the margin is 15 with 5:54 to go.
So if you're Baylor, you have to, I would say, expect an onside kick
Yes.
right here.
Absolutely. What you have to.
5:54 remaining in a two-score game.
Mr. Baronis has a chance to give his team a jolt with this kick.
Of course, his dad played for the Tennessee Titans. Pretty darn good.
Well, looks like they have 2 kickers lined up. Boy, Joakim Dotson got his hands on it and went out of bounds. Baylor takes over at the 48.
They always say it's the second bounce that pops up. So bounce and up in the air. That's about what happened. In a 15-point game.
And right now, Jim, 5:54 between you and a state championship game. 2 hands on the football, and everything falls forward.
Yeah, someone will give one final word, protect the football, because you know that's what Brentwood Academy will be doing, trying to tackle the football and get some sort of strip right here.
Brentwood, first of the half.
So Brentwood takes a timeout.
Interesting,
It is.
because they're going to need those timeouts, need them desperately. It's tough to take one defensively.
Without being in their huddle,
Yeah,
they must have seen something they didn't like.
yeah, that's the scoreboard.
Maybe not enough people, maybe not enough players
That
on the
could be.
field.
That could very well be. Five minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the season of one of these two teams.
So here's the kick. Dotson, look how high he goes. Got his hands on it. Just could not reel it in. And one of the Eagles got a hand on it.
Yeah, it sure did. That's why the Eagles were jumping up and down for a moment, because they thought they were going to recover that onside kick. Yeah, heavy dose of number 1, and that offensive line
And here's what's interesting, Jim. Number 77, Terrell Shivers, and 76, Todd Hammond, not involved in this defensive line. Hammond has not returned since that cramp or whatever that lower leg injury was.
A couple of guys you cannot replace. Moving to the Brentwood 46-yard line. Starting at the 48 after the successful recovery of the onside kick. Clock running, just over 5 minutes left to play in the game. Shift once, shift twice, and hand off to Mills Knight up the middle.
And as we've seen so many times tonight, Luke Robeson comes on that run blitz.
Yeah. I think Robeson is...
I don't know how many, it seems like he's had 20 tackles tonight. Number 10's been all over the field.
Seems like he's Brentwood Academy's version of Lowenberg, right?
Yes.
Just around the football all
the
night
time.
long. Big plays for the Red Raiders. Here's a big third down conversion. Mills Knight up the middle, has the first down, and maybe a little more. Touchdown number 4 of the night. And that, I would say, seals the deal.
Next stop, Finley Stadium.
Shakai Mills Knight, a 4-touchdown night for him. And puts that final nail in the coffin right there. With 4:19 left to play in the game. After the onside kick. And again, when you're Brentwood Academy in a situation like that, you do have to gamble. And they gambled and lost that time. Extra point is good to make it 35-13.
The Red Raiders have gotten a little bit from everybody, and that's just what they needed.
46 yards.
Here you go, folks. Shakai Mills Knight passed. Look at the red wall. They just moved some folks out of the way. And number 1 kicks it in gear and finds the end zone for the 4th time tonight.
So after the onside kick, a 52-yard drive in just 3 plays. Mills Knight, touchdown number 4. Touchdown runs of 23, 13, 80, and 46. That's a good night. That's a Shakai Mills night.
Yes.
Red Raiders getting ready to go back to the championship game for a 3rd year in a row.
Jim, he stepped out of bounds.
His
at
momentum,
the 5.
his momentum carried it right there. That's one of those, if you let it go out of bounds, it's a penalty on Baylor. That's one you do not field. Those are the little things in the kicking game that make so much difference. And a mistake by Brentwood Academy. Trying to make a play, I understand. That's exactly where the Red Raiders wanted him to feel that kick. And the extra bonus was he falls out of bounds.
Fantastic job on special teams
Absolutely,
tonight.
again, yeah. Starting at the 5-yard line. McIntyre pulls it back. Pass complete. For good yards. Keyshawn Bowman,
man.
wow.
Once again.
Bowman and Clifton for Brentwood Academy. You can see why they love that tandem. First down yardage. Clock runs with 4 minutes left to play in the game. And Brentwood up to their own 32-yard line, so a 27-yard pickup from their own 5. Not much there that time, tackling him inbounds for a short gain. 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7. Chris Reniger is a guy that covers a lot of ground as well. McIntyre looking for that one-on-one coverage near side. Complete at the 40, hit out of bounds around the 41-yard line. Ferguson with that nice catch. And you could see that one develop from up here because there was only one defender and a wide receiver inside the hash marks on the near side. McIntyre found the man that had the one-on-one coverage and completes the pass with 3:13 left to play in the game. Now at the 41-yard line. On 3rd down and short. McIntyre pulls it back, puts it up in the air. Pass complete for a 1st down. And going to the Baylor side of the field at about the 48-yard line. Another Brentwood 1st down. Clock stopped for a moment. Now they'll wind it up and move the chains once again. McIntyre on the sideline, quickly stepping out of bounds. Clifton again with that reception. But under 3 minutes left in a 35-13 game. But I would say this, I think the Red Raiders know they have been in a game tonight.
Really their best test of the year. But, well, it's hard to say. That McCauley game was so emotion-filled. But, boy, certainly their best test in a while.
If you talk to Eric Kimry, he says game number 1 of the season set a tone when they came from behind in the second half, down 14-0, and scored 21 unanswered in the second half to win that first game of the year against Rabun Gap. The McCauley game is also, you spend so much emotion for both those teams. Running back with a 1st down and more. The 7-6 win and flags down late. The 7-6 win over this football team in Nashville at the end of September was important. And then a win over McCauley, and then you get in the playoffs, and this team has kind of rolled. But I think got a good test tonight.
Face mask on Baylor. Jim, a third quarter score at the start of the 3rd quarter. McCauley.
Face mask. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
McCauley leads Ensworth 7-0 as they start the 3rd quarter in Nashville.
Wow. Those are 2 good football teams who will be worthy opponents for the Red Raiders in the championship game. Clock running once again. We're about to hit 2 minutes. McIntyre, shoulder shake, up in the air.
Wanted to pump and go.
Yeah.
He was Keyshawn Bowman well covered by Tyler Rice and Jamie Theodore. And I think Jamie is upset he didn't get the pick on that play.
2nd and 10.
2nd down with exactly 2 minutes to play in this semifinal round game here at Haywood Stadium. 2 minutes exactly left to play in the game. McIntyre goes under center and sends the man in motion. Play action once again, being rushed. Underneath, pass complete. Breaking a tackle, breaking another, hit on the sideline.
You know, Jim, it's a little thing, but George McIntyre faked that play action with his left hand, which is what you would do if you were actually going to hand the football off. Pulled it out, switched to his right, threw a nice pass and a nice gain.
You could see why a lot of colleges like him. He's fun to watch. And I would say that with all the skills that he has, he doesn't try to do too much, does he?
No, kind of knows what he can do, stays in his lane, and His lane is a pretty effective one. Baylor has done a nice job on him, especially
In the
early
second
in the
half.
third
Yeah, I
quarter
agree.
when they got that pressure from the edges, and then they got pressure up the middle, and then everything was wide open.
Yeah, the touchdown at the end of the first half, McIntyre just looked like he was in charge. He got outside his comfort zone in that third quarter. Handoff right up the middle.
Hey, Jim, an update from Nashville. McCauley has scored. They lead it now 13-0 in the third.
Against unbeaten Ensworth. With less than a minute to play in the game.
It's now 14-0 McCauley.
Wow, McIntyre keeps
My
it.
goodness, ball's loose. Well, they haven't blown the play dead.
They sure have not. Touchdown.
So it's going to go touchdown Eagles. McIntyre paid the price on that one.
He did. He took a shot right in the sternum, I think.
I will tell you, folks, the young men on both sides of these lines tonight, man, they have given and taken some serious shots.
So Brentwood Academy has now scored touchdowns second quarter, third quarter, and now in the fourth quarter. Missed an extra point earlier, but scoring with 30 seconds left to play in the game. Going for two right here. That's playing out the string, isn't it? Flaring it off
Well,
their side. Double pass. Wide open.
Nice. Well, they don't carry over, so you might as well.
The double pass. It's one of those just working out for next year, right?
Yep.
Because you just never know. Now 35-21.
Boy, this will be interesting. You look at this score and you can paint a couple of different pictures with it. I think the third quarter was just Baylor domination.
Yes, that was
defensively.
the key. Getting out to the lead, scoring on that first possession. You get a little 14-point cushion, you're in good shape.
I think the prevent has been in effect final 5 minutes of this fourth quarter.
Baylor just lets it go out of bounds.
Once again, the red wall did their job tonight. And what a matchup, Jim, if this McCauley score holds.
Yeah.
The same two teams.
5-yard penalty, kick out of bounds. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, first down. 5 yards this way. Kick out of bounds.
We're getting some candid conversation there. Jim, shouldn't that start at the 35? 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah. And they line up in victory formation. Briggs Cherry takes a knee. Briggs Cherry again has engineered this team.
Hold up, delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
We are enforcing the letter of the law.
I understand.
Prior to the taking of the knee, there was a delay of game. So they will be penalized 5 yards and do it again.
This should do it, I would think, with 23 seconds left to play. if no one's going to stop the clock. Brentwood Academy, they go down swinging, 35-21.
Great effort by the Eagles, and George McIntyre lives up to the hype. But credit the Red Raiders, resourceful, effective, and they do what they need to do to get where they want to go, and that's the state championship game in 2 weeks.
That state title game will be on Thursday, December 5th, Finley Stadium in prime time at 7 o'clock. Thursday, December 5th. Now the public schools, they're only in the quarterfinal round, but this was a semifinal round game, meaning the Red Raiders still perfect on the year and will take on the winner of Ensworth and McCallie. As we mentioned, those two teams playing right now. 7 o'clock kickoff on the Thursday at Finley Stadium for the state championship. Eric Kimry said all year long, we're built for November. Now built for December, getting ready to take on the Ensworth McCallie winner. Again, 7 o'clock on Thursday, December 5th at Finley Stadium in downtown Chattanooga.
So 2 weeks from now, maybe you have a healthy David Gabriel Georges and a couple of other players for Baylor. So you get a chance to win a state championship as close to full strength as you can be after a long season. What a great season, especially at home for Baylor. And tonight, they made their breaks and took advantage of them.
Well, when Brentwood Academy, I thought, regained the momentum in that second quarter, Baylor came out with a huge third quarter, won the third quarter, gave enough of a cushion to enter the fourth quarter. And again, so many times we talk about the Baylor offense. I thought in that third quarter, the Baylor defense really made a difference, got after the quarterback, as you said, made him feel a lot uncomfortable. Most of that third quarter, I thought that was the difference in the game. Celebration
here we
continues. Yeah, let's watch some highlights.
Final highlight package of the season. It starts with Shakai Mills Knight breaking ankles, far sideline, first touchdown. That caps off an 80-yard drive. Number one gets loose again. Here, big gain. Bus went about 40 yards, and the Red Raiders are back in business. And then from 2 yards out, that caps off an 80-yard, 9-play, 5-minute drive to make it 14-0. We're back at it in the second. Shakai Mills Knight, does he get loose? Are you crazy? 80 yards in one play, 12 seconds. That makes it 21-7. The Red Raiders off and running, and then Bradley Ilunga Bisalele wide open in the end zone. That makes it 28-7. And then there's this. Behind that big red wall, Shakai one more time from 44 yards out. And that caps the scoring. Their favorite play, victory formation. Final score, 35-21 Baylor. Next stop, Finley Stadium for the state championship.
And again, that will be on Thursday, December 5th. It'll be the night game. It'll be the 7 o'clock kickoff game, and the Red Raiders, a winner here tonight in the semifinal round, will take on the winner of Ensworth and McCallie. Those two teams playing right now, with McCallie owning a 2-touchdown lead in Nashville in that semifinal round game. McCallie taking on the unbeaten Ensworth Ball Club. Our crew's been great all year, great camaraderie. Great to be part of this team that we have, bringing you Baylor football, home football games on a Friday night. Thanks to all involved, and again, we'll see you at Finley. We won't broadcast the game, but by gosh, we'll be there for the Red Raiders in the state championship game.